Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for hiring a crisis manager. Woo! A crisis manager. Lord have mercy. A crisis manager. What does it all mean when one has to hire a crisis manager? Well, I tell you what, it can't be good. It cannot be a good thing. Um, well, we'll talk about it. We shall talk about it. Well, I talk about it, talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. Dun, 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 dun. Talk about hiring a crisis management. Ba, 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 ba. You gotta move on. Ba, dun, 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 dun. They gotta move on. One less. Fail to answer. One less egg to fry. One less man to pick up after. I should be happy, but all I do is cry. There's no more laughter. Whoa, I should be happy. You know what? Listen, I should not be making fun. Um, one man's crisis manager is the end of another man's marriage. Oh, Lord. And that they felt as though they needed to announce it. Hmm. Um, you know, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's just a crisis manager. What could possibly have gone wrong? Hmm. Oh, oh. Well, what was that song? You call me from the room of your hotel, all full of romance for someone that you met, and telling me how sorry you are for leaving so soon, and that you miss me sometime when you're alone in your room. Do I need a crisis manager too? Oh, I'm sure it doesn't mean anything bad. They just need some help with Uncle Andrew. That's all. Just to help them navigate things with Uncle Andrew. I'm sure it's not any weirdness or, anything of that level. Um, yeah, it's probably nothing. It's probably nothing. I'm jumping the gun, as they say, and I ought not do that. We should just wait and see what it's about, right? Plus, with that trial coming up against the Daily Fail and Lord Nappyhead's paper, the racially ambiguous owner of the Daily Mail. I haven't even mentioned him in ages, have I, Lord Nappyhead? Amelia Rodriguez welcome. I have not seen you here in forever. And thank you so much for being a member of Royal Sussex. Let's see. Sonia Alexander, Felton LaShawn, Mary H. Fancy. Oh, let me get this person off the screen. Um, I mean, take a look there. Those tender exchanges and glances, who's to say they're not happy? I'm sure they are. Anyway, let's get on with it, shall we? Shall we? Shelly L, thank you so much for being first. And thank you again for the lovely gifts. I really, really do appreciate it. Okay, take that away. Up, up and away in my beautiful balloon. But da 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 da. Why am I so happy and pleased with myself? I mean, after all, we don't know anything yet. Yet. Um, by the way, you guys, if you haven't had a chance to check it out, Digital Haven Design Company, I mentioned them in the community post or the post or community post. Um, make sure you take a look. They have some incredible designs there, things that are easy to ship. The price is very fair. And as a full disclosure, as a recipient of a couple of those items that were gifted to me, I have to say the quality is top notch and they are absolutely beautifully crafted. And I think you will be very pleased if you find something there that tickles your fancy. Um, I am definitely going to make a couple of orders of my own. I just wish this would have happened before Christmas because it would have solved a couple of problems I had with gifts. But um, I do have some birthdays coming up, so that will work out just fine. Okay. And as you can see there, Divine Muse Tote that is collection, which is part of the what do you call it? Anyway, these wonderful totes are a celebration of beauty, strength, and individuality. The Divine Muse Tote Collection brings art to life. And you know what? I did not add a picture of the tote. I wish I would have, but it's on the community post. Um, through bold and expressive portraits featuring abstract elements, rich colors, and striking gold accents. These totes are more than just accessories, they're statements of confidence and creativity, with each piece in this collection reflecting a unique muse that embodies a different essence of beauty and power. We invite you to find the one that resonates with your own unique energy. Crafted from durable canvas, these bags blend art with functionality, perfect for those who carry not just essentials, but a sense of self expression. Let your style tell a story. Now, I do have one picture available here. I just didn't add it with did I add it with the slides today? No, I did not, but let me show you. Let me show you. Let me show you the way to go. All right. Take a look here. Isn't that beautiful? Huh? Canvas? Imagine something like that in canvas. One thing that I really love is the touch and the feel of canvas. And in case you didn't know this, I know it's a different type of canvas, but you do know that most Louis Vuitton bags are trimmed in leather but made of canvas, something very durable and wearable that will last for decades. So again, the link is in. Matter of fact, I'll put it here at the top of the chat, and you can see for yourself. Hey, Ingrid Soares. Let me find that for you. And I'll put the link at the top of the chat. And then we'll talk about a couple of other things. And of course, we'll get to the hiring of a crisis manager, which is what you do when you have a crisis. You hire a crisis manager to manage your crisis. If you have a crisis, which some people do. Okay, here goes. I'm going to put that at the top of the post. But they also have some other items that you may find, but I think the totes are so beautiful. And I cannot wait to see the reaction when I gift one or two. Okay, let me pin that to the top of the chat. Okay, and let me check to make sure it works. Yes, it does. Okay, perfect. So yeah, check those out. Isn't that beautiful though? I love the colors. All right. Okay. Hello, Hazel Jones. Legs, welcome, Legs. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. All right, just looking at a couple of your comments here. All right. Hi, Lisa Williams. Thank you so much for being here. Lisa, you gave me that what is that thing? The thermal cup, right? What is the name of this company? Oh, I forget. Let's see. SM Simply Modern or something like that. Which I have traveled with this thing. I use it so much. And then the other thermal cup that someone else gave me, that is the one that I use for my smoothies. So I have one for water and the other for smoothies. And then I have an alternate that someone else has gifted me, and I'm just hanging on to that one for now. So thank you very much. And you guys, I promise you, I use everything I get. And on some of my worst days, I can pick up this cup and feel loved. Okay? Just so you know, I can pick up this cup and feel love. Duchess of Success. Oh my God, caught a Baron live. I miss it here. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And I believe I listen to you every time, not sometime. I listen to you every time. Yep. If I don't watch it live, I will make time for it later so that I can keep myself company and enjoy Duchess of Success. Okay. So there you go again. It's called Digital Haven Design Company. The cup there on the left side, that's the one I got first. And then there on the right, that's the one I got yesterday. Isn't that beautiful? I love that one. This one I don't have. I'm going to get that one for myself. I don't have that one, but I love that one. I use my coffee cups to set the mood. Whether it's coffee or tea, I select my cup based on my mood for the day. Thank you, Ingrid Soares. Yes, please don't forget to hit that like button. Now, I do have a couple of sound bites that I want to share with you. One is longer than the other one. I believe this one is the shorter one. I'm going to play that for you. And then guess what? Something I love to say. We'll discuss it on the other side. So I'll get this queued up for you, and then we'll discuss it on the other side. And while I'm getting this queued up, be prepared for us to discuss it on the other side. Oh, there. I was about to say, where's my phone? Oh, man. It's something about hiring a crisis manager that just puts a smile on my face. I'm not sure what it is, but crisis managers make me smile, especially when it's for people that have worked my everlast nerve. Yeah, I love that for them. Okay, where are we?
It's just like obsessed with Meghan Markle. Like she's not Meghan Markle anymore. She's Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. But like, are you obsessed? Because there are some haters out there, but I'm obsessed. But I want to know why you're obsessed because I want to be best friends with her. Like she's so cool. I love her. Like she's just so sweet. She's so talented. She's everything that a girl could want to be. To be honest, I want to embody what she's giving out. Like I don't know. I need to get there, but I love her. She's the best.
Okay, I didn't realize there was so much background noise. I do hope you could hear that. Thank goodness, it's only 30 seconds, 36 seconds long. But her name is Ang Cam Spam. Ang Cam Spam. I think you could probably see it there on the screen. And she's talking about her obsession with Meghan. She's not sure why she's obsessed, but she just loves her. And I really love to see young girls with their whole lives ahead of them that in some way model their future based on people like our Duchess and so many other women that really embody that independent spirit, yet some traditional values along with some very modern values. And it's just refreshing. I like that, especially the TikTok generation. That's always a good thing. Let's see. Simone Black says, "Hi, Baron. Uh, no, it's High Duchess of Success, and I think you, Baron, and Brian should do a podcast together." Oh, by the way, thank you so much for the super sticker. I would love to do that, but honestly, I am all over the place with my schedule right now, and as you can see, I seem to have gone from later to latest. But if I could ever get myself on a good schedule, that would be a great thing. But I have anxiety about being on time and such, which is a poor excuse for someone of my age. But yeah, you know what? I would rather just like by chance, just like call in one day when I have the time to do it. Usually, when the Duchess of Success is on, I'm usually prepping especially when she has people chiming in. I'm usually prepping and just can't at that time. I think once I surprised Pedal Facts and 2 Cents, which of course mean I surprised myself, and I was actually prepping, but I took a little time to do that. But yeah, so I will, if it's okay with the Duchess of Success, one of these days I will make my presence known when she is on live, and I'd rather do it like that. So if it's okay, I would rather do it like that than to schedule something. Uh, you're in the cafe right now. Very cool. Yeah, we will make it happen. We will make it happen. All right. Okay. By the way, you guys, there's a new sheriff in town. Look at that wrench. She ain't afraid to use it. So you better straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and fly right. Shelly's L's got a wrench and she's not afraid to blow your top. Okay? Straighten up and fly right. All right. Jealousy and Meghan. Okay, I got this one too. You know what? I should have spaced these out, and I think they're back to back. So I do have another one, and I'll do that one later on because I should not have these back to back.
About Meghan Markle reveals quite a lot.
Oh, okay. And she sounds rather posh. So I like this lady. She sounds very posh.
The way that people talk about Meghan Markle reveals quite a lot about the nature of racialization. I made a video talking about the jealousy that white women display towards black women, and a few people brought up Meghan Markle as an example, and then quite an interesting conversation unfolded in the comments. Some people said that this didn't apply to her because she's white passing, and that honestly really surprised me. I had never heard someone describe her as white passing before. And I think it highlights that part of racialization is contextual. You might be racialized differently in different contexts. I've kind of experienced this myself on a very, very, very micro level. I've noticed that whenever I make videos about racism and white supremacy, a minority of people racialize me differently. I experience an increase in anti-Semitism that's targeted at me, even though I'm not Jewish. And I've even had a very, very, very small number of comments asking me if I'm mixed race. One person was even like, you keep referring to yourself as a white woman, but you're obviously not a white European woman. And I just didn't know what to say to that, to be honest. That's certainly not something that's ever been said to me before. And so it really seemed like something about the content I was making was impacting the way that some people viewed me. Back to Meghan Markle, I can accept that there might be some contexts in which people see her as a white woman, but marrying into the British royal family is not one of those contexts, because that's probably one of the most prominent cases of anything that makes you different from them being the royal family, is going to be overemphasized in the mindset of the British public. Now, obviously, that's not to say that Meghan Markle's experience of racism here has been anywhere near the same level as it would have been if Harry had married Lupita Nyong'o. But I kind of think that's what makes her an interesting example, because she's a testament to the fact that even when people do see you as having a high proximity to whiteness, the purity mindset that surrounds the royal family would never have allowed any woman who is anything other than white to go through that experience unscathed. And I think it's really naive to think that the hostility targeted to her wasn't rooted in anti-black racism and that the white British public didn't feel jealousy and insecurity in relation to her. You know, one of the symptoms of jealousy is holding someone to an unreasonably high standard so that you can always accuse them of falling short. And I think that describes the public's reaction to her pretty well, to be honest.
Okay, so that was what is her name here? Hold on, let me take a look. Okay, yeah, I cannot see that. Okay, girl, what do you call yourself? Let me see. Okay, it is cultivating bold spaces. Cultivating bold spaces. And I believe it is all spelled correct. It's all lowercase. And it's all, that's what it is. Cultivating bold spaces. All right. That was very interesting. I like her. I can see why people assume that she's Jewish. I think it's the curly hair. Right? The curly hair and probably just the subject matter that she speaks of. They probably have some idea of what her background must be based on the things that she's speaking out about. But there you go. I could see a lot of people would assume that Meghan is Latino, but I would never suspect that people think that Meghan is white passing. Isn't it a shame that we have to think about things like this? It really is. It's a shame that we have to think about things like this. And even worse, some people are forced to explain themselves, or, and I hate to say defend themselves, but I guess set the record straight if they bother to do that. Some people may just think, you know what, it's not even worth my time, and what difference does it make? So yeah, there you have it. But yeah, she's pretty cool. Now, I do have this one. You guys, I'm going to come back to this one. Please don't let me forget, because that one is pretty long and we want to spend some time with that one. So let me go on to the next thing. Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, joined by dog Pula for first appearance of 2026. The unrelevant, unnecessary, misguided couple from California, the what do you call it? The deserters, the usurpers. What else do they call them? The rival court of Harry and Meghan. They are so out of place in the modern world, and of course in the monarchy, that the Hello Magazine, among others, took the time to write about something I haven't even seen. I have watched that same video over and over again, and I'm still trying to figure out, well, where is the dog? I know that Gayle King said, oh, I could see Pula or whatever. I still haven't seen the dog. They are so financially comfortable with talking about the Sussexes. They need them. They want them. They love to talk about them. They're even talking about their dog walking past in a video. Now, you know that you are renting space for free in somebody's head if they if the press wants to speak of a cameo appearance by your dog, as if they're surprised that you have a dog and it should be there. And I'm not dragging Gayle. I thought it was cute that Gayle noticed. I'm talking about the fact that other people are writing about it. That is what surprises me, is that, well, actually, let me take it back. I shouldn't be surprised, should I? But that they're taking the time to write about it. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex beloved pup popped up as they joined a discussion about the impact of phone-based childhood. Oh, let me see. What's the next one? The Duke and Duchess of Sussex made their first appearance of 2026 as they appeared at a special online book launch. There we go. Prince Harry and Meghan joined Gayle King on the Oprah Daily Chat to talk about the hidden cost of phone-based childhoods with authors Jonathan Haidt and Catherine Price, as they base their new book, An Amazing Generation, appearing via video link from their sunny, I like that, their sunny Montecito home. Harry and Meghan asked the experts a number of questions about the impact of phones and screens on children's well-being. The Duke and Duchess are passionate about online safety for children and young people. And in 2024, they launched the Parents Network, which aims to provide a safe and free support network for parents whose children have been harmed by social media. By the way, you guys, I did say they asked questions. I didn't say X, okay? I didn't say X. As an African American, I find it very necessary to make sure people know I didn't say X a question. Let me stop. I'm being so silly tonight. It's something about hiring a crisis manager that always puts me in a mood. Lex says Meghan is white presenting, not white passing, different. Oh, there you go. Thank you so much, Legs. And again, isn't it sad for society that it's even a topic of discussion? How come we just can't be? Why is it we just can't be? But it's one thing that we have gained from colonization, and that is a need to categorize people constantly. And no place more so than the United States. Well, I take that back. There's also the former colonies around the world, other than the United States, where that is a big deal to categorize people. Okay. Oh, the Hello magazine. Yeah, they are always pro royal family. I don't think that they're very kind to the Sussexes, but it helps their bottom line if they can talk about a dog having a walk-on scene. And you know what? Um, it is good too that they are mentioning the Parents Network and this book that could help a lot of people. So I don't want to ignore that. That is a good thing that people know that this book is a resource that's available. So there is something about it that is good. Hey, soul brother, thank you so much for being here. All right, and then on to the crisis manager. Now let's take a dive into this, and we'll talk about it along the way if you like. Gentle Giant, British expat, 34. Oh no, that's the wrong. Oh my God, that's the wrong story. Hmm. I'm about to share a homicide with you. That was not my intentions. Uh oh, there we go. Okay, Prince William hires crisis manager described as bulletproof sunshine by her old boss as Andrew and Harry's sagas rumble on. If they want to say that that's the reason why they need a crisis manager, fine. But I think we all know what it is. I don't know what it was about that helicopter the other day that seems to have created a firestorm, but I think I know why. So Prince William has hired a crisis manager expert as the royal family continues to wrestle with the fallout from Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor's association with Jeffrey Epstein. Um, Lisa Ravenscourt, described as bulletproof. Ravenscourt, I'm sorry, Ravenscroft. That's it, Ravenscroft. Described as bulletproof sunshine. Bulletproof sunshine. Interesting. By former boss, has been recruited from the blue chip communication firm Edelman, where she worked arm in arm with big names facing into their toughest times. That description could apply to William as the Andrew saga rumbles on, while the monarchy also deals with drama surrounding Prince Harry and the cancer treatments undertaken. Oh, Lord. Undertaken by both King and the Princess of Wales. Mm, okay. I mean, I don't know what's scandalous about going through cancer treatment, but I guess you need a crisis manager to help describe precancerous cells, huh? Right? I'm sorry, Miss Ravenscroft, who runs the UK crisis and issue team, is understood to have been championed by Julian Payne, a former communication secretary to Charles and Camilla, who is now the CEO of Edelman. A source told the Mail on Sunday Julian Payne has stayed close to the king, so it is unlikely to be a coincidence that one of his most senior and respected members of staff has taken a key role in William's office after a period of turmoil. And when they are looking for closer alignment between Kensington Palace and Buckingham Palace, which of course they have been at war, haven't they? As minds turn to William's eventual succession. A Kensington Palace source said that communication expert for the royal family boasted a range of experiences, and Miss Ravenscroft would be operating in a non crisis role. So they hired a crisis manager in a non crisis role. Interesting. Ms. Ravenscroft declared on her CV, which is her resume to the rest of us, that multinational brands have never had higher expectations nor more scrutiny when things go wrong, and boasts that she tells companies how to get past an issue as quickly as possible with minimum dents. It's often front page stuff, from boycott campaigns to, I'll just say assaults, to serious safety issues and geopolitical and ethical risk. Andrew has been stripped of his royal titles and evicted from his. Why is she being hired for Will and Kate for Andrew? Shouldn't she come along later? Why are they hiring her now in regards to Andrew? You hire a crisis manager for a non-crisis role, and you keep throwing names out there like Andrew and Harry, which of course we don't like them associated together like that. And also you hire her in a non-crisis role for precancerous cells and Charles mystery cancer. It does not make sense. Andrew has been stripped of his royal titles and evicted from his 30-room mansion, which I believe he still is living there now, Royal Lodge in Windsor. But questions continue to mount about the extent and duration of his links to the late, that person. They keep using that PDF file word for some reason, as if we don't know what that's the thing. But anyway, let's see. Leg says helicopter article brought back divorce article. Thank you, Legs. Absolutely. Absolutely. They got people thinking about their eventual divorce, if that is a thing. Yeah, that's what I allege that they're talking about for the lawyers listening. Their eventual divorce or something thereof. Nadine Burks. Hi, Baron. I need your email to send my Megan's Jam song. Absolutely. Let me grab that for you. And you know what? This also reminds me to take a look at it every now and again. You just reminded me, I have not looked at that email in ages. I do apologize for that. But is this the one? Okay, give me a second because I got more than one email and I want to make sure that this is the right one. Nope, that wasn't the right one. Oh, that's it. Aha, yes. So let me put that on the screen for you. Okay, here goes. Aha, all right, there it is. Thank you so much for the super chat. And thank you so much in advance for the email. And oh my goodness, I have a few emails I have not. I don't think I looked at my emails since. Oh, that's not bad. I think it was the 20th of December. Nope, I don't think I looked at that one. Anyway, I will try to keep up with that. Thank you so much. Remember that Andrew made everyone scrutinize how much the other royals were paying for rent. Oh, yes, at their estates. It could be about that too. They looked up Edward and Sophie, and there were going to look at Wanks. Yes, thank you, Legs. That is so correct. I almost forgot about that. I remember they mentioned Will and Kate, and there was talk about them paying market rate, but they never actually said what that meant, market rate. So, yeah, that would be something to come up, something to have a crisis about. But I still think it has something to do with their relationship more than anything else. Oh, you're quite welcome. Again, thank you in advance. Okay, so let me figure out where did I leave off. Meanwhile, Prince Harry continues to attract attention for his relationship with Charles, and William, his battles with the media and his scrutiny arrangements. What battles with the media? Are you crapping me? What battles is William having with the media? For the most part, everything goes his way. What do they mean, his battles with the media? Oh my God, who wrote this? I mean, look at this. William and Kate step out together after online separation claims. We'll get to that soon. The mainstream media is not talking about that. They are not. That's Feminagra talking about that, not the mainstream media. So what battles? And of course, the helicopter thing. Okay, so they started off the year with people talking about the helicopter. Somebody leaked that video because, yeah, I think someone leaked that video. Some people are saying that Camilla may have been upset about that Hail Kate or Arise Kate, whatever that thing said. Some people say that Camilla may have been a little salty about that article and felt a certain way and decided to take her revenge, allegedly, possibly. So, Miss Ravenscroft, who previously held roles at the British Airways and Marriott Hotels, says on her CV that a former boss described her as bulletproof sunshine, and that she is a seasoned media handler who believes in the power of strong relationships to defend and charm in equal measure. She adds that as she is off to adventure, she adds that as she is off to adventures, knew there is a gem of a job available at her company. She writes, if crisis make your eyes sparkle, oh, that's sick. And supporting big name companies through them get you out of your bed in the morning, then try mine on for size. The British monarchy, known as the Firm, was recently rated by the US data firm Statista as the world's fifth strongest brand after Facebook, Amazon, Google, and Apple. Mr. Payne spent 5 years as communication secretary to Charles after a stint as director of communication for the BBC, leaving in 2021. The fifth strongest brand after Facebook, Amazon, Google, and Apple. What about Coca-Cola and McDonald's and BMW, Mercedes, Ford? I mean, I don't know. Let me think about that one. Talking to the royal author Robert Hardman last year, Mr. Payne described the monarchy as a brand with a communication operation of around a dozen people, but a boss with 1,000 years of history behind him. He said people could see the king come and go during his illness and looking happy. That transparency has been so important. A Kensington Palace source told the Mail on Sunday, Liza is joining a non-crisis based role in Kensington Palace press office, working on a day-to-day press interaction Kensington Palace has. That explains people who work in communications for the royal household come from an array of backgrounds. So there you have it. That is what they are saying about this person. No mention of relationship, although I believe that, okay, so SK says, put your hand up if you know the real crisis that needs a head cleaner. We'll give you a clue. It begins with a helicopter, snow, and overnight bags. Randy, Andy, and Harry's names are only used as buffers. We know the papers know, and they all know that we know that the papers know that they know that we know that the papers know. Riddle me this, says someone whose account is locked, so I don't want to say their name. But riddle me this. Why would William be needing a crisis manager to handle anyone? If William is not the king, if Chuck don't need a crisis manager, why would a happy, festive glance, perfect, never put a foot wrong, solid purple, be needing crisis management? Interesting. Lex says, does anyone remember the article that were trying to blame Harry and Meghan for stress in Wank's marriage? They were trying to fault Harry and Meghan. People know is coming. Thank you, Legs. I don't remember that particular article. The only one that reminds me of is Catherine the Great, which was in the Tatler, the one that lady wrote that they were upset about, where Catherine was saying that she was tired and somewhat complaining that there was overwork because of the fact that Harry and Meghan had left. And then the article went on to describe how important the relationship with Kate's mother was to William, which I don't think William was keen on hearing something like that. But yeah, but that particular article, I don't have a recollection of. No, I don't remember. I don't remember an article like that. I've heard people mention that on some of those, those talking head shows where, you'll have someone like Rebecca English and such. I've heard it mentioned there, but I don't think I've seen an article that directly blamed the Sussexes. So if you can think of the name of that article, I would love to see it. I will definitely hunt for that one. So, oh, by the way, thank you, Legs. Oh, wait, there we go. So, why didn't they need a crisis management during the Cancer Gate? Yes, Miss Z. Yes, yes. If they ever needed a crisis manager, that was the time, was during that period, because that is when Kate became the butt of the joke, the laughing stock of the civilized world. So if there was ever a need for a crisis manager, that period of time definitely called for a crisis manager. I am so with you on that one. Hmm. I am constantly amazed that the people that complained that Harry and Meghan were whinging and whining or moaning, they say nothing about William and Kate's constant um, seeking sympathy for the cancer, which, according to William, was the worst year of his life, as though he was the one being treated. Remember how they had an article where William said that it was the worst year of his life, that his father and his wife both were diagnosed with cancer? You know, in 2024, um, I lost three patriarchs in my family, and yet somehow I managed to function. I did not have to move to a new home. I did not have to take time away from work. I did not go to war with my father over uh, my brother or anything like that. None of that stuff happened. Um, One of the things I love about the British culture is that idea of just get on with it. Stiff upper lip, get on with it. I always thought that was an admirable quality. And there are still a lot of people that will just get on with it. But the person who they're expecting to be a father to the nation someday is anything but that. William whinges and moans and whines about everything. Everything, not some things, but everything. The least disruption to his life is something that everyone needs to write about and examine. And that happens constantly. So, mm, hey, Church Nelly, thank you so much for being here. Uh, bailed out William during his 2024 debacle. Camilla was knocking William down left and right. It is why Charles III said that Kate was the daughter he never had in Kenya. They were trying to keep Kate in the firm. Yes, legs. Yes, I remember that. They were trying to make a big thing about how Charles had lunch with Kate, and they had so few pictures of Kate and Charles, just Charles and Kate paying attention to each other, embracing, if you will. They had so few of those pictures to share. So trying to build a case without the photographic evidence was kind of strange. Did they ever meet for lunch? I'm not sure. No evidence that that ever happened. And the reason why I am willing to say that I don't believe it happened is because we were led to believe that William spent time with his father up in Balmoral, only to find out that William was with a hunting party and was miles away from his father the entire time, which I tend to believe that because if they had spent time together and they wanted the world to know that that connection had been made, they would have found somebody to sit outside of the gate as they did when Harry went to visit his father at Clarence House. They would have even possibly posed for a photo together or something that you could share with the nation to know that the royal family is getting along just fine. But they have not gotten along in a long time. This idea that Charles and his father were close is a big lie. And nobody exposed it better than Tom Sykes. Tom Sykes exposed the fact very clearly, which I believe is one of the things that got him kicked out of the chat group on the what is that WhatsApp chat, the chat group for the Royal Rota, because he was not playing along with their talking points as much. So I think that got him kicked out. I do believe that there is some connection with Tom Sykes in Kensington Palace where he's hedging his bet that supporting Kensington Palace is going to give him a very prominent role in the future. I believe that. Oh, so no crisis manager. He needs a therapist. I agree with that. He needs a therapist. Mm. Oh, okay. So they both need some help. Well, that carriage ride, I keep going back to that carriage ride. That carriage ride at the Royal Ascot. Kate calls off. She didn't call in sick. She just calls off. And it was very last minute. And we all know that Charles was furious. And Charles and William rode around in that carriage at the Royal Ascot. William spent more time looking at the cameras than I don't even think he spoke to his father. I honestly don't believe that there was any conversation. Camilla spoke to the fourth person that was brought in because of Kate's absence, right? And that right there should have been all the evidence that most people needed to know that father and son have fallen out. Also, when Harry's people met at that club that day and William was out of the loop, what did William do? He had his people leak and brief stories about how angry he is. If William and his father are actually getting along, why all of the leaks and briefs about how William is upset or worried or nervous or what do you call it, or not interested in his father and his brother connecting? Every time something comes up about Charles and Prince Harry, there's always some type of murmuring from Kensington Palace. Also, Clarence House really had to take over for Kensington Palace when Kate was missing without any confirmed sightings for 172 days. Kensington Palace was dropping the ball. So, as Ms. Z said, I believe it was, that was when they needed a crisis manager. Unless there's something wrong with their wedding, I'm sorry, their marriage right now, what other reason would they need a crisis manager? Harry and Charles have had whatever recent connections, that is way above William's pay grade. There's nothing he could do about that. And there's nothing a communication person could say or do that is going to change that. Okay? So let's just remove Harry from that equation. Prince Andrew, that is a Charles problem, not a William problem. William doesn't need to worry about Andrew until he becomes king. That's none of his business. Whatever they say that William feels or thinks or believes about Andrew, it is not his responsibility. So that doesn't make sense. Okay. What was the other ones? It was Andrew. There was Harry. What's the other two things? They were back to back. Oh, let me just take a look at the article. And I'm sure it's something so stupid. That's why I can't remember what it was. But I tell you what, it doesn't mention here. It doesn't mention anything, as Lex said it doesn't mention anything about their housing situation. Oh, I don't see it. Oh, and the 2 cancer treatments. That's the other thing. And that's silly. What is she going to whether she's there for crisis or she's just there to talk to the press? They don't have any interest in repeating the same story twice about Kate's cancer. It has evolved, it has changed. Fine. They're never going to tell us exactly what was wrong with Charles. So there's nothing for her to manage there. So what is the point of it? Because none of that stuff is William's business. Not until he becomes king. Lex says, control freak William needs to quit looking at everyone else's relationships and actually pay attention to his own. It is like those other divorce royalists. Thank you, Legs. Yep, that is what he needs to do, is pay attention to his own relationship. If there's anything that crisis management person could do, it would be to advise William and Kate. They want her to freshen up the stench of William and Kate's laziness, frequent vacations, lack of enthusiasm, and of course, the issues of them taking over all of that land around their Forest Lodge home. And of course, a few other things that I'm not mentioning, but those are the crises that they have. Oh, the helicopters. The helicopters, their 6th forever home. Those are the crises. That is what's within William's control. The question is, will they allow this woman, Ravenscroft? Will they allow Ms. Ravenscroft to advise them and that they would follow up with that advice? Or do they just want her there to clean up the mess? They should have just taken on Rebecca English. But see, Rebecca English, her role is much stronger writing as senior editor. That's her strongest position, is doing that. She can do more for them as a senior editor at the Daily Mail than she could ever do for them on staff, because it gives her the freedom to make up stuff. Thank you, Legs. That gives her all the freedom she needs to make up stuff. So, yeah, let me see here. Oh, what did I miss? What did I miss? Uh-huh. Lifelong competition. Let me see. Oh, yes. Good analogy. A frog in a hot pot. It wasn't until he was 40 that he decided that he needed a legacy project, right? And I think he was 42 when he declared that he was a global statesman, right? And of course, Kate, she waited until she was 40 or near 40 for the Christmas Carol thing and the early years and stuff that came along because of Meghan. I mean, they really had to get her into some type of something so that they would have just some symbolic gestures to compete with what Harry and Meghan were doing. And also, let me repeat this one more time. I know I kept talking about it the other day. The fact that Harry and Meghan have been so successful on all their tours without incident, going to other countries even without incident, without the Home Office, without the Kensington crew or the what do you call those people? The Clarence House people, without any input from other royals. They have managed to have these epic, scenic, beautifully photographed. What about Harry going to Ukraine? What about him going to Ukraine? Flawless, flawless. And all of this is without those people. Harry's infrastructure is the other governments that are always glad to welcome them, and also the Invictus community. Oh, and let me just say this too, and the military in those other countries. I mean, he's spending time with active duty military leaders and such. So, again, you cannot take that away from him. That he was able to be more successful without all of the bells and whistles and the trappings that's available to Wank and Kate. That means something. That really means something. Let's see. The crisis is William and Kate Middleton can't do anything right, no matter how much the vile UK media and trolls lie for them. They can't compete with the Sussexes. Never. Never, ever. Wait a minute. I just thought of something. Where's Connie Balmer? She wasn't here last night either. I believe she said she had to work. See, it's always so weird if Connie Balmer's not here. And Lydia's not here. That's also weird. Okay. Oh, and what about that time when they went down to Texas for the South by Southwest? They went to that restaurant. They went to visit the family from, um, is it Uvalde? And I believe it was a couple of other things they did while they were down there. So there was that. Almost forgot about that trip. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's go on to this. William and Kate step out together after online separation claims gain traction. Well, what is that all about, Alfie? What's it all about, Alfie? Is it just for the moment we live? Let's see. Royal appearances rarely happen by accident, and they rarely happen this early in the year. So when William and Kate stepped out together at Charing Cross Hospital on January 8th, the timing raised eyebrows. The visit came just days after online footage reignited speculation about how the Wells family lives behind closed doors. What followed looked like a deliberate show of unity, packed with family cues and togetherness. At the moment when the palace appeared keen to steer the public from a growing narrative that threatened the picture perfect family story it has worked to project. So, this is what People magazine had to say. Thursday's outing is the first time Prince William and Princess Catherine of Middleton have been seen in public since Christmas Day, when they walked to and from the church in Sandringham with the members of the royal family and their children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. They are believed to have spent much of Christmas and New Year's break at their home at Admiral Hall on the Sandringham estate in Norfolk. The children returned to their school on January 7th. On Friday, January 9th, the family will celebrate Princess Kate's 44th birthday. Okay, so that's what People magazine said. Back to Feminagra, the helicopter footage that set off speculation. Footage filmed on January 6th showed Prince William arriving by helicopter at Kensington Palace with Prince George and Princess Charlotte in tow. Both children were carrying overnight bags with the family dogs alongside them. Kate Middleton was not present, nor was Prince Louis. The clip quickly caught attention because it appeared casual rather than choreographed. Light snowfall and William's beard appeared placed it firmly in the present, not the archive. So, again, seeing William's beard, you know this is not old footage, because there's been people trying to say that other situations was the day that we're speaking about, when we know for certain that this particular thing was just recently filmed. But why it was filmed and who filmed it, that is still a mystery. Because according to the neighbors, it has been alleged that William makes frequent trips to and from Kensington Palace, usually alone. Now, that is what has been rumored, is that William frequents the Kensington Palace alone. Now, to be fair, the staff has to work somewhere. So, yes, the Kensington crew, the staff, is likely located there, but he can also work with his staff at Buckingham Palace, which is just down the road from Adelaide Cottage and a little bit further away from Forest Lodge. So I don't know exactly where the Kensington crew works. I'm assuming also they could also have offices over at Buckingham Palace, right? Because I believe Princess Anne's office is at St. James, right? I think Princess Anne's office is at the St. James court. But anyway, uh, it is it is a mystery. I still believe that Will and Kate, I'm alleging that they don't live together and have not lived together for a long, long time. Adelaide Cottage seemed to be the right place for Kate at the time, just down the block from where William is possibly likely staying. Um, Windsor Castle. That is a scenario right there, a possibility. Now, as William gets closer to the throne, it would be beneath Kate to live in Adelaide Cottage when someone of her status warrants a larger home. And even though they say that Camilla is comfortable at Ray Mill, in the event of Charles slipping away and ending up in that storm cellar at the St. George Chapel, I believe that they're going to want to have a bigger house for Camilla, something more befitting a dowry queen as opposed to that Ray Mill, which is owned outright by Camilla and receives royal protection. So, yeah. Anyway, Zandy Sussex had tweeted, "At last, the co-parenting appears to be going well. Here are Charlotte and George captured arriving by helicopter at Kensington Palace." You all might remember that tweet. "With their overnight bags, it's been obvious for a while that Willie and Kate are separated, and the kids shuttle between their parents' homes." Seems that way. If the family is now settled together at their new forever home in Forest Lodge, why were the two oldest children arriving at Kensington Palace with overnight bags to meet their father? Too many, the image suggests an established routine of children moving between parents' residence rather than a single family base. Woof! Go figure. Yeah, it did look kind of like a matter of routine, didn't it? It continues here. "The conversation did not immediately jump to divorce. Instead, it returned to the theory that has circulated online for years. Commentators focused on pattern and routine, reading the footage as further evidence that the Welleses are separated. In the version of events, Forest Lodge functioned as Kate's personal base, while Kensington Palace remains Williams, with the children moving between the two homes depending on which parent they are with." Mm. Capito. Capito. Oh, by the way, let me bring this up for you. There we go. Helicopter gate. Connie Balmer, I was just asking about you. Oh, okay. There's a little bit more here. Oh my goodness. Um, well, let's get on with it then. How coverage worked to close the gap. Within hours, coverage shifted into reassurance mode as media outlets leaned heavily on routine logistics, security, schooling, and future duties. Articles framed the helicopter trip as normal, emphasized long standing residences, and cited institutional necessity. They skipped past the children's overnight bags while spotlighting official reasons for movement. It's a familiar playbook when planned images take hold online. Palace friendly explanations tend to arrive fast and steer interpretation. Hmm. Okay, the article goes on to talk about William's credentials as an eco warrior. Mm. The level of expense might be easier to understand if William and Kate were openly separated and managing shared parental duties between the two homes. Hmm. The royal helicopters, the two homes, and the questions the coverage keeps dodging. There's also context that the coverage avoids reports have already shown that William uses royal helicopters at unusually high rates relative to his work. Uh, well, okay. Okay, I'm going to leave it there with this one. But anyway, you get the point. You get the point. In all likelihood, they are not in the same house, allegedly. Now, I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Oh no, I'm not. I still got that other stuff. Never mind. Happy New Year. I received a beautiful card from one of the squatties. As you know, some cards, I think the cover art is so beautiful. I like to share it. That one is quite whimsical and childlike, but very beautiful. And I love the background. So, sharing that one. Meg Summer return. Well, Glow says it's the way they have to frame things to fit this uh what is that conniving, oh yeah, oh I can barely see that, this conniving narrative just by choice of words. Plot equals evil planning. P.S. Since when does the Mirror have a hotline to Meghan to know her plans? Mm. Well, I guess it was the Mirror that said that Meghan was plotting to return to the UK this summer. Okay. Um, we're going to keep hearing this all the way until 2027's Invictus Games. When and if Meghan show up, it is going to be incredibly strategic. When and if the children show up, it is going to be incredibly strategic. I don't think there will be much announcement about the Sussex's movement, but there are plenty people that would love to see our Duchess in the United Kingdom. And if it wasn't for the hateful press, that would have happened more often. And it would have really been to their benefit because, well, you know how they feel about money. But above all, we want Meghan safe. We don't want her to be seen to be seen. We want her to be safe. And those bitter Bettys, well, here you go.
Bitter. And, you know, somebody needs to say it. Bitter. Bitter, bitter, bitter.
They are bitter, bitter, bitter. So Leg says, wait, Meghan was going to make up with Will and... Thank you, Legs. Apparently so, because they seem to know what Meghan's thoughts are and what her intentions are. As long as Will and Kate are Will and Kate, I don't ever want to see that happen. I promise you, if they ever try to do something constructive, I'm talking about Will and Kate, it would only be for the assurance that they can invite Meghan when William becomes king, so that they can find a camera to record a curtsy to the two of them. I believe that's what they're interested in. That same curtsy that they expected when Meghan met them for the first time and they did not get it. I believe that they are willing to do what it takes to make sure that that happens. I really do believe that. And I pray it never does. I would never want them to have the satisfaction of it. Ever. Oh, let me see here. Kate and William will never divorce. Kate and her mother have worked too hard to get the crown. I think she has William, what is that? Over a barrel? Is that right? It's all to do with what happened to her on December the 28th, 2023. Yes. Yes. If there's anything that is going to keep them together, it would be connected to 28 of 2023, December 28th of 2023. It'd be definitely connected to that. I believe that too. Okay. Elaine Parker is here? Wait a minute. Is Elaine Parker here? Huh. Oh, that would be amazing if she is. But no. Anyway, Elaine Parker, if you're listening, we miss you. And I guess the best thing I would do is to just start early one day, huh? That would solve a lot of problems, wouldn't it? Yeah. You know what? That does make sense. If you're saying it doesn't make sense because Harry and Meghan have been very protective of their images being shown, and that if they bring the kids to the UK, there are going to be people expecting to photograph them. And of course, to share those photographs. Um, well, that is something to think about. I'm not sure exactly how that would work. I do hope that when Harry brings the children, that they are able, because you know what? Um, they do not show Camilla's grandchildren. I repeat, I saw a photo of Camilla's grandchildren with Camilla, and their faces were blurred. So if they can extend that courtesy to Camilla's grandchildren, then I believe that courtesy should be enforced for Archie and Lily. Yeah, they should extend that same courtesy for Archie and Lily. But I don't have them handy, but I do know that I've seen some of Camilla's grandchildren's photos where the faces were blurred. Let's see. I think that William and the tabloids worry about Harry security because they can get in and out without the palace knowing, which would allow them to get around the tabloids. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think that makes a lot of sense. Yes, that makes a lot of sense. Huh. Okay. So, Sykes, Prince William, and Kate have embraced the power of being dull and boring. Now, I saw this article. Uh, it was Celibacy that shared it. Let me see if I can hip you guys to this one. So it says here the Daily Beast royalist columnist Tom Sykes wrote an opinion piece about Prince William and Kate's Boston flop tour. What I appreciate is that Sykes and other royal reporters know that they can keep polishing this turd. The Weasels, I'm sorry, not the Weasels, the Welleses, this turd, the Welleses, and the Weasels, anyway, and pretending that everything they do is perfect and amazing. So instead, they've not so subtly lowered the bar yet again. It's a good thing that William and Kate are so dull and boring that that's their superpower. That they're unexciting, what is that? Unambitious dish rags, and that is what Tom Sykes had to say. The thing is, learning that is leaning into the dull and boring branding is their only option. If this was a real war, William and Kate would have bled out on the battlefield years ago. They've been fatally wounded by more charismatic Sussexes. the Sussexes take up so much space, and William and Kate only had dull and boring left. I appreciate that Sykes made it sound like a conscious choice on Bill and Katie's part, though, as opposed to that, just who are they, honestly? In some ways, it's a compliment to call them dull and boring when really the Sussexes have exposed them and could expose them further as actively vile, actively racist, and actively unpleasant. Personally, I don't think William and Kate aim has been to be boring, to fly under the radar, to be said, to be staid and dull, should I say. Whether they tell us how they want to be perceived, they want to emulate the Sussexes. They want to be charismatic, credible, glamorous, and important. They just can't do it because they're too dull. Let me see. I hope that Invictus comes to Cali. The Sussexes could bring their kids to Invictus. Yes, and the press couldn't use any of the photos because of California laws. Amen to that. Amen to that. And in all likelihood, they would want to do it in San Diego, right? Because that is where they have a lot of the military is right there in San Diego. That would be really cool, actually. Now, as for Tom Sykes, this is what Tom Sykes had to say. The dull Middletons, a friend of the royalists, dated Kate Middleton when they were teenagers at the Marlborough College. The friend's mother sometimes still tells how insanely dull all the Middletons, including Kate, were. Terribly nice, the nicest, most inoffensive people in the world, but no fun, is her settled opinion. No fun. After a half decade of trying to convince us that actually they are just as glamorous, racy, and thrilling individuals as the Sussexes, the Welleses seem this week to have embraced the power of, well, being boring. No distractions. At the outset of William and Kate's royal trip to America to present the Environmental Earthshot Prize, they said they were determined to not be distracted by any parables issued. Journalists assume this was code for they don't want to answer any questions about Harry and Meghan. So don't bother asking. Now, there's also this dowdy fashions. However, their borderline dowdy sartorial choices Friday night at the gala itself suggests another interpretation, that they weren't about to allow Kate's frock to eclipse the conversation about the very serious business of saving the planet. And of course, that's when Kate wore that green dress that people were using. That anyway, she looked like one of those windsocks. That dress, the windsock dress. So, Will and Kate's real message. William and Kate are also telegraphing another message, which is if you want drama, can tune to Netflix and catch the Kardashians. Sorry, the Harry and Meghan show. We are here actually trying to do something. Boring old public servants, us, just like Granny, seems to be the theme the couple have decided is their path in the future. Indeed, they have attempted to apply this arrangement to the the chutzpah of Meghan and Harry releasing the trailer for their. Oh, remember that? Remember that the trailer for their Harry and Meghan documentary? It came out while Will and Kate arrived in the U.S. Hmm. It's a good thing that pointed out the difference between Harry and Meghan drama and Will and Kate's service. It was probably a slightly desperate bit of retrofitted spin, but ultimately, Friday was the day that the Welleses reclaimed their narrative. Now, the last thing with that particular article was Peg and Buttons states people. Peg and Buttons. I like that. Peg and Buttons statespeople. The meeting with Joe Biden was an endorsement of their status as statespeople. No mere celebrities. I'm sorry, not mere celebrities, although there were plenty of them at the prize giving ceremony itself on Friday, including David Beckham and Billie Eilish. Time will tell if the Welleses have made a smart move by going nuclear on Harry and Meghan and comparing themselves to the Kardashians. However, there is no doubt that there is now at least clear blue water between these two couples. So, anyway, that was the article as it was December the 5th, 2022. Okay. Hey, Heather Stroud. Now, I said earlier that I had a thing that I was going to save for later. And of course, I forgot, but it was with this article. And I'm going to share it now. Some of you may have heard this before. Maybe, maybe not. But it was a great piece by Brother James O'Brien, which came out at that time. So, going to share that with you. Oh, J.O.B., James O'Brien, J.O.B. I just thought about that. Huh. James O'Brien, J.O.B. Got that. I so get that.
Deal. Here's the bottom line. Harry and Meghan have become hate figures for much of Britain, never mind the British media, for two reasons. The first is James Baldwin's timeless quote. I imagine one of the reasons people cling to their hate so stubbornly is because they sense once hate is gone, they will be forced to deal with pain. And the second reason is that they gave the finger to Fleet Street. And Fleet Street won't accept that. I sometimes wonder whether, if my old man hadn't been made redundant by the Daily Telegraph, I would have been one of the people leading the line of attack on these two. Because when you've got Fleet Street in your blood, when you've got ink in your blood, any attempt to lead your life as if we're not in charge is greeted with absolute fury. Look at what happens if you dare to stand up to the British tabloid media. They will kick you around the room until you're bruised and bloodied, and quite possibly, in the case of the Duchess of Sussex, of course, contemplating the worst possible way out of that level of abuse and unkindness. And yet they carried on. They refused to buckle. They tried to play by the rules. They sought the kind of deal that royals have been securing through the ages in their dealings with Fleet Street. They tried to get a kind of a hiatus, a reprieve, a ceasefire, but they didn't. They didn't get it. The palace, for good or for ill, did not come in on behalf of Prince Harry and his wife and demand that the vampires of Fleet Street stop sucking their blood every morning. So they decided to do everything their own way. They decided to rewrite their own rulebook and live entirely by that. They decided that they would not dance to anybody's tune but their own. They are not perfect. They are not infallible. Some of the stuff they do is a little bit silly, but my goodness me, they're brave. Imagine that. Imagine growing up in that goldfish bowl and deciding that you're going to smash the glass and see whether or not you can survive. That's what they can never be forgiven for. And nobody understands this better than the Fleet Street machine that needs the royal family just as much as the royal family needs the Fleet Street machine. That relationship is not parasitic, as I used to think. It's symbiotic. There are lines that will never be crossed. And if the unexpected or the unprecedented happens, then the reaction will be negotiated. How can we possibly live in a land where the late Queen's second son, Andrew Windsor, is treated more gently and more quietly, calmly, insert whatever adverb you prefer, than her youngest grandson, or rather the King's youngest son, the current King's youngest son? How can we possibly live in a land where Andrew Windsor is talked of in the same breath as Prince Harry? Think about that for a minute. That's been done because of a deal, whether implicit or explicit, between the royal family and the Fourth Estate, the media, the newspapers. You can keep your access. You can come on your tours. We'll answer your questions. But the other lad, he's out of favour now. And his wife, open season. You can do whatever the hell you want with her. You can write what you want, you can say what you want, you can print what you want, you can broadcast whatever you want about her. I know what you're thinking. Didn't exactly end well, where we gave you the same free pass on Harry's mum. But hey-ho, the world has turned. That memory has faded a bit. So open season on Meghan Markle. Write what you want, say what you want, do what you want. So they did. And they continue to do so, which is why even today, the front pages of every newspaper are somehow turning the fact that they are more interesting than his brother and sister-in-law into something of which they are guilty. Netflix trailer steals the spotlight from Wales's. It's absolutely pathetic, breathtakingly pathetic, actually, that the machine, the war machine of Fleet Street is now so devoid of justification for its bile that they're claiming the release date of a Netflix film is a declaration of war. And do you know what? I hope it is. I hope it is, because if my wife had been treated like his wife has been treated, all bets would be off. If I had gone to my brother and asked him to help me protect my wife from the kind of abuse that Meghan Markle has been exposed to, and that abuse seeps from mainstream media to social media and drips into every corner of Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. And my brother had turned around to me and said, yeah, well, there it is. I'd be declaring war. If this was 400 years ago, I'd be raising a flag on Hounslow Heath and contemplating a coup for the crown. But those days are over. The prize today is just PR. The prize today is public image. And here, finally, is the question. It's just envy, isn't it? The whole point of the attacks upon Prince Harry and his wife, whether they're coming from within the palace, on the record, off the record, nowhere near the record, or whether it's coming from Fleet Street, is because they're simply better at everything. They're better at PR. They're more media savvy, they're more articulate, they're more empathetic. Crucially, they're more accomplished. Look at their careers, compare their careers. They're more accomplished and they're more attractive. So here is the real sin of Harry Windsor. And this only occurred to me last night. It's box fresh. I'm going to throw open the phone lines and you can kick it to pieces if you want on 0345 6060973. But the real reason for the hatred, the viciousness, and this astonishing level of abuse is because they make a complete mockery of royalty itself. The idea that he gets the top job and he sits in the sidecar for the rest of his life is absolutely absurd. But we can never, ever admit that because it shakes the very foundations of the royal family. So, do you think that the real reason why Prince Harry and his wife have been turned into public enemies numbers 1 and 2 in this country is because...
Okay, so there you have it. Um, I wish I could have heard the call-ins to that. But again, that was from 2022. Very interesting though, right? Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Let's do that. Let's do that. Yes, absolutely. That was superb. That's why I call him Brother James O'Brien. A lot to think about there, though, or a whole lot to think about. Okay. Harry and Meghan joined by did I put that twice? I guess I did. Oh no, you know what? I forgot. I went all the way back. So let me go forward to wherever I left off here. There. Did I do that twice? Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, so those are the two dull people that showed up in Boston that time and got booed at the basketball game, that were lectured by the clergy about the sins of colonization. They were not happy about that. They were not happy about that.
A non-basketball question. Did you get a chance to meet with the royal family? And if not, how was it like having them there in the building?
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph?
The Prince and Princess of Wales.
Oh, no, I did not. I'm only familiar with one royal family. I don't know too much about that one.
A non-basketball question. Did you get a chance to meet with the royal family? And if not, how was it like having them there in the building?
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph?
The Prince and Princess of Wales.
Oh, no, I did not. I'm only familiar with one royal family. I don't
Get a chance to meet with the royal family.
I love him. I absolutely love him. I am going to build a shrine to him later, actually, for his very honest response. He only knows of one royal family, so we'll let that stand. I think it should be a law that every royalist, every monarchist, every person who was there for the walk to church on Christmas morning, they all should have been privileged to see this. All of them, without exception. They should have had this airdrop to their cell phones or whatever. It just warms my heart. It does. It really does. Let's see here. Inside Kate Middleton and Prince William's reconnected marriage. He treats her like his bride. After a trying chapter, that is, the Prince and Princess of Wales are moving forward more in sync than ever. Well, this really does imply that something went terribly wrong in their marriage. But I'm glad that they have found room to celebrate and get closer connected, if only for the sake of appearances or whatever reason. I'm happy for them. I hope it works out. So, if not, there is another American princess who would love to, have a British prince of their own. And who knows, he may have already had a British prince of his own. But whatever the case may be, I wish everyone well. I really do. Let's see. Rebecca English, why Prince William is embracing change to keep the monarchy relevant when he becomes king. Again, Prince William is trying to make a connection with the Gen Zs as the future king, because that is something that they're lacking. Most of the Gen Zs identify with the Sussexes and not with the Waleses. So it is very difficult to gauge the future, because in the past, there were British people who did not really care for the monarchy until they got older, and then they became very loyal to the monarchy, right? They didn't question the monarchy at a certain age. But nowadays, it seems as though if you do not like the monarchy now, you probably won't care for them later on in life. I think it has a lot to do with social media. I really do. How Prince William went all the way to protect Kate after topless photo scandal 13 years ago, as future king remains his wife's biggest champion. I believe most men would protect the woman that carries their name. I really do believe that. Most men would be obliged to do that. And because William was a newlywed and did not want the same fate that happened to his mother to happen to his new bride, of course he made a fuss. Would he be so fussy today? Probably. I mean, William is pretty litigious, that is. So anything that doesn't go his way, he's threatening a lawsuit. Coming soon, undersized homes for William that allow him to build an apartment block across the street. This was shared by Not My King. The law requires the billionaire property developer to create affordable homes to get permission to build an apartment block across the street. This is a legal requirement dressed up as charity. Yes, as a charity. It's a legal requirement. It's not because he wants to, it's because he has to do it under the law. Anyway, that's pretty cool. I don't know if that sign physically exists, but if it does, cheers to the person who put that up there, or persons. Okay, and here's a good one for you. A robbery happened on a snowy day, and all 4 suspects claimed they were at home. Only the thief was lying. Who is the thief? Huh? I repeat, a robbery happened on a snowy day, and all 4 suspects claimed they were at home. Only the thief was lying. So who is the thief? Huh? Who's the thief? I'll wait for you. Alex, explain. Please explain. Why would it be Alex? Yes, why would it be Alex? I am curious to know. Oh, okay. I can't tell. Don't live with snow. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. You guys, you cannot put anything over on you folks. Not at all. And you're right. It is Rick, because Rick is the one that has snow under his tires. The other cars, let me see, it says here, yes, Rick is the thief. The snow under his car shows it was parked after the snowfall ended, meaning he was out during the snowy day, not at home as claimed. The other cars have no snow underneath, indicating they were home the whole time. All right, so you guys got it. I can see most of you all who have answered so far has gotten it correct. What's that? Church Nelly says, it wasn't me because my steel where I make my moonshine usually melts all the snow. Okay, got it. I don't know what that has to do with this, but fine. Yeah, I don't know what that has to do with this, but fine. Okay, do I have another one for you? Let me see. Oh, I do have something for you. I was today years old when I learned, shouldn't it be learned, when I learned why these square boxes are there on the door. Yes, I was today years old. What does that mean? Why are those square boxes on the door? Why? Why are those square boxes on the door? Now, I think I know why, but I'm going to go back to where I found this and double check. One person says, for dust accumulation only. Laugh my ass off. Another person says, so if my door had those, they would lock easily in the winter. Major shift and shrinkage with the season. Well, I think they're onto something. Someone else said there are plain doors too. Another person says they hold my back properly against them and make sure I stay. What the hell does that mean? They allow the wood to expand and contract with humidity and temperature changes without warping or cracking, which I believe is the best answer. Wood expands and contracts based on humidity. And so if you did not have those squares, which most times are just floating squares so that they are not locked in place, then that allows the wood to breathe. Oh, Church Nelly said to confuse the Jehovah Witnesses. Woo! To confuse the Jehovah Witnesses. Lord have mercy. Okay. So I don't think I have anything else after that. Let me check and make sure. Do I have anything else? Oh, here we go. I'm sorry, you first. No, after you, I insist. Well, it's the famous question, which comes first, the chicken or the egg? I don't think this is going to help us establish which comes first, but that's fun to look at anyway. And lastly, remember, the road is long, and we don't know what surprises are around the bend, but the road can be very long. And as they say, life is too short. So go out there and live your best life. Live your best life. I'm not saying run up your credit card. I'm just saying live your best life. Don't waste a lot of time being angry at people, because it is really hurting you more than it hurts them. So do not waste your time being angry. Okay? It is so much healthier for you if you don't. To confuse the Jehovah's Witnesses. Oh, thank you, Ella Parker. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. And you know what, guys? I have not said this in a long time, but thank you so much for trusting me to do this work. Thank you for trusting me to do this work. That means more to me than anything. Highway to Heaven. With many a winding turns, the road is long, from which there is a no return, that leads us to who knows where, It's a lonely road. And I forgot the rest of the song, 'cause I haven't heard it in a while. So I just hum and then I smile. But I used to love that song. He ain't heavy, he's my brother. So on we'll go. His welfare is of my concern. No burden is he to bear. We'll get there. Oh, I love that song. I haven't heard that in ages. Love that song. If I'm leaning at all, then I'm leaning with sadness, that everyone's heart isn't filled with the gladness. Yeah, now it's coming back to me. I now want to hear that song. Didn't it start off with what instrument was that? Anyway, it's a beautiful song. He ain't heavy, he's my brother. Oh no, I woke you up, huh? Well, let me ask, does anyone have any pets that have retreated under the beds or behind the sofa? If so, I do apologize in advance. There's something about my voice ringing out of nowhere that has caused trouble and strife. It's so gritty and emotional and a bit out of tune. But it all comes from the heart. Oh, well, I'm going to say good night or good morning, whichever comes first. And I'll see you all later. Cheers. Thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space.